Hey guys, how are we? Can you all see and hear me? Please say yes if you can, because otherwise I won't know. Yes and yes. Fantastic news. Who have we got here? We've got Mariam. Hello, Mariam. We've got Big Titty Lover Ron. We've got Gigi. We've got Chris Bryan. Chris Bryan has graced us with his presence. We've got Muzz. Kia ora, bro. We've got the Red Wolf. Love you, the Red Wolf. We've got Envy. We've got ASMR Amara. Hello. Gavin. Alpha. Jenny. Yes. We've got the full crew. Grimwood Productions, Birch in the Woods. How is everyone tonight? Please tell me in the chat. I've just been over at the Crinkle Lovin' premiere, and if you haven't been there, please check out her most recent video. It was and is quite something. Your voice is so calming. Well, that's good, because we've got however long I can be bothered streaming worth of it. Plus, if there's any dead air when I run out of things to talk about, we've got controller sounds. I love controller sounds. Anyway, chat. Gigi, you're doing okay. You're at work. I'm very sorry to hear you're at work. Luckily, it's 8:30 at night here, and no work is being done, apart from, well, this isn't really work. This is me hanging out with my peeps. I apologise for the rather dim lighting. I'd sort of forgotten that our days have started getting shorter. I sort of thought it was in the middle of summer still, which it very much is. I'm off to Margate tomorrow. If none of you know what Margate is, it's a sort of coastal town in the southeast of England. I'm off there with a few friends. Chris Bryan loves Margate. Very nice to hear. Today, much like the last stream a month ago, a whole month, I thought we would just hang out and chat and, with no real structure. At some point, if I'm to make a habit of live streaming, I should probably have some sort of format and we can play games and stuff. But as it is, I'm just going to ramble and drink beer. Because it's a Thursday night and I've taken tomorrow off and it's a long weekend for me. So, cheers. Happy holiday for me. Nathan, ASMR. Jess, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to watch me when you have so many other amazing options. Atlas, you were fantastic as a guest at TingleCon. Thank you so much for coming, man. Did everyone in the chat go to or watch or listen to a part of TingleCon? TingleCon, for those who don't know, was an ASMR convention. Digital convention, and that is so cool that ASMR has conventions, and it was in part run by Sleepy Kitty, Famcam ASMR, Nathan ASMR, various people, and they did a superb job at making it run so smoothly. It was amazing. And I was lucky enough. Hello, Tippy Tappy. Lovely to hear you. Lovely to have you here. My brain's everywhere today. I woke up with tremendous brain fog. Does anyone else get I know you wake up feeling groggy, but you just can't shake the brain fog all day, and you're sort of watching yourself talk and think all day. Is that just me? I've had that all day, and I haven't been able to shake it, so apologies if I'm a bit all over the place. Nathan, yes, TingleCon. I was lucky enough to be invited to be in a live panel at TingleCon. I say be invited to. I suggested the idea, so I invited myself, but I was very grateful to have that idea gratefully received. As my brain fog is horrible. That's the truth. This panel was in part sort of adjudicated by Nathan and Famcam, and it was wonderful being able to talk absolute smack about the delights and everything about cinematic ASMR, which is, I guess broadly a category that my ASMR now falls into, even though I find the term somewhat challenging. Me and my fellow esteemed panelists, Jim Chi ASMR, who is my hero and friend, plus new friend Tinglesmith, who makes fantastic fantasy and sci-fi roleplays. They were on either side of me, and we were having this live chat for about an hour about cinematic ASMR, and it was rather wonderful. Sorry, let me catch up on the chat. The Cozy, hello. Oopsie Daisy, hello. Lovely to have you both here. Jodie Marie, what's up? Jess, it was a dream panel. It certainly was for me, and I have to say how intensely grateful I was to be surrounded by these legends of cinematic ASMR. And I use cinematic again in a sort of very broad way. It was we didn't actually get onto in the panel what cinematic actually meant, and you would think that the clues in the adjective, but I guess people use it loosely as a term to describe various levels of sort of production quality and various levels of storytelling and narrative within ASMR. And it's an interesting conversation to be in, considering that I guess I'm starting to try to make videos that are more narratively focused, which is interesting for everyone, mainly me. Okay, chat. Paul is a magician, so are you. Far too kind, Jenny, thank you so much. I think the world of Paul. I've only actually recently done a lot of catching up on Tinglesmith's videos, and if anyone hasn't seen Tinglesmith's very recent Tesla roleplay, it's the part he was absolutely born to play. Please go check it out. Whoa, that's a cool voice, says Justin. Thanks. I promise you, in real life, my voice is much louder and much more abrasive. I think my friends find it quite interesting that ASMR seems to be a new passion of mine, considering that I am famously, I famously have no noise control at all in social situations. But hey, I think that's typical of a lot of ASMR creators, that they can be loud people in real life. Hey Dan, thank you so much for coming. Okay, some questions are coming through. To be honest, guys, ask any questions you have, because that's what's going to drive this very long ramble. I'm your captive audience, so hit me with anything you got. Churchow asks, what do you do to edit? It is amazing. Thank you. If the question is the technical side of things, I use Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. I use Premiere, many people do, to cut the videos up. I use After Effects these days to do the green screen work and the grading. And, really only applies to Sleep City, my most recent video, and The Gentleman, where I've done a lot of green screen work and a lot of sort of compositing. Previously, like the Sparkling Water video and one of the videos I've done recently, I don't know, any of the rest, they haven't really involved After Effects or any sort of intense image work. But since I discovered that in The Gentleman, I love it, and I'm using every opportunity I can to do big sort of graphic world building, he says, wankily. Shadow Ninja, I watched the Sleep City video like 30 times. That is that's a lot of times to watch it. That might even be more times than I've watched it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. And if I can say so, I was quite proud of Sleep City. I watched the premiere, and it might have been actually the first time that I watched it like all the way straight through. That's a lie, but possibly, the one time I watched it straight through and actually focused and watched it as a as a video, as an entire video. And yeah, it made sense, I thought. Tyler, huge fan of yours. The effects you use are really awesome. Thank you, Tyler. I was wondering if you could do a leather sounds ASMR video. Now, I am reluctant at this point, I'll never say never, to do straight trigger videos because, and don't get me wrong, I have lists and lists of ideas for trigger videos. But for me, at the moment, my channel has, it's always been about this. It's been about the narrative, the storytelling, and the immersion. And while I accept that if I was to do this, for an hour, people would love it, And I've had ideas where there are sort of creative ways to do that, but I'm just not sure it's very me, A leather video, I'm sure leather will make it into one of the role plays or these ideas, but I need to think of a very me way to do it. So thank you for the suggestion. I'll never say never. As for mothers, need to check out Tinglesmith. Please do. Tinglesmith is wonderful. Jason, loved The Gentleman. It was really nicely done. Thank you so much. I've raved about The Gentleman far too often, particularly on my past live stream. But it was a lightning in a bottle. A tremendous effort from some fantastic dudes. Muz, do you miss Aotearoa? For anyone who doesn't know this, Aotearoa is the Maori name for New Zealand, and yes, is the short answer. I miss New Zealand every day, particularly during this COVID-19 lockdown period, because New Zealand's been just dealing with it so admirably. Glavi, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that properly. What is your primary job? I broadly design posters and creative campaigns. So I'm a sort of graphic designer, photographer, hybrid, creative director type. Will there be any Atlas and ASMR Muzz collabs? I loved him in the Gentleman video. Well, yes, the Gentleman was the first of what I hope might be several Atlas and Muzz collabs. Muzz, please consider me interested. I would love to. Particularly, actually, if we did something Kiwi themed. Why not? Okay, where are we? I need to catch up with the chat. Southern Belle, hello. Thank you so much for coming. What is your stance on spicy food? I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to spicy food, to be honest. Anything, let's use the Nando's level of spice. Anything beyond hot, I think I stop being able to taste it properly. Sorry. Okay, where are we? Grimwood Productions. Did you have any specific inspirations for the Gentleman ASMR? Absolutely loved it. Yes. The specific inspiration was the director, Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie, who directed Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Rock and Roller, and its namesake, The Gentleman, recently. Although it bears only a passing resemblance to The Gentleman. It's really not any sort of parody or spoof of The Gentleman at all. It just borrows its name, but very much as a homage, sort of, to Guy Ritchie's directorial style. Okay, who else we got? Blah, 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 blah. The ASMR Ryan. Everyone, we've been blessed with ASMR royalty. Ryan, thank you so much for coming, man. How are you? Thank you also for coming to Sleep City and for championing it afterwards. Very, very cool. Rowan, how did you learn to edit so well? Sleep City and The Gentleman especially. Amazing. Thank you. It was very much just something that I've somehow picked up. I've always been a visual person, and I've always been a graphic designer and very au fait with the Adobe suite. And so Premiere and After Effects, after a lot of sort of YouTubing tutorials and that, sort of clicked and are continuing to click. But don't get me wrong, it's very much like a learning process. It's day by day I'm learning more and more tips and tricks. I'm so sorry, I'm behind on the chat. Any tips and tricks for someone starting out? I've the mic and the channel and everything, but how would you best suggest growing? You're awesome, by the way. Thank you, Alex U, 17. I don't know if I feel adequately far enough in my journey to be able to advise. Well, okay, I guess speaking as a creator with 6 or 7 months of experience with this, I would suggest just making stuff. My early videos do not at all reflect what I do now. Well, they have some similarities, but in that they're about storytelling. But it's evolved, and it's only evolved because I've been doing it. And that is the first hurdle that many people just need to get over. Start making stuff. You will learn, you will grow, you will meet people. The collabs only came about because I became very friendly with people in the ASMR community. Yeah, just make stuff, make cool stuff, and get better and push yourself. Be creative. Yeah, at some point I think I'm tempted to do sort of more tutorial-based ASMR stuff. I once did an animation tutorial and really enjoyed it. Ray, thank you for coming. Your voice is just naturally soothing. Fantastic to hear. Where are we? Ryan, huge fan of your work, man. I think you need to be at 100 million subs now. Your setup is a dream come true. Thank you. That's very kind, Ryan. And if I could repay the compliment, I watched your what was it? Your game store roleplay with that TV behind you the other day, and thought it was freaking incredible. I'm loving the videos you're doing with your brother too. He's excellent. Okay, I want to apologize if I've missed anyone's question or comment. ASMR Muzz. Notice that my name isn't flagged on here, only my own channel. The conspiracy deepens. Muzz, I'm curious as to see what you're going to do with your channel name. Is it, are you changing it? For anyone who doesn't know, Muzz is unfortunately, as a word, being flagged by YouTube, which is a bit of a pity, really. Kate, I have a question. What camera do you like to use for filming? I use, rather luxuriously I must say, because I don't really recommend that anyone buys this sort of camera, because it's very much a photographic camera, but I use a Canon 5D Mark IV, and considering I am a photographer and work mainly in a studio environment, it serves me very well for that purpose. However, if you are doing and starting out doing ASMR YouTube videos, do not buy that camera. 1, it is far too expensive, but 2, I actually think that there are better cameras for cheaper for this sort of thing. At the moment, I'm just using my crappy webcam on my Mac. Yes, please, I mean, I could do a video if people were keen, recommending different setups. I think I'd probably quite enjoy that. But yeah, I guess now, considering that we are, I say we, us collectively in this channel, we're doing some, again, I don't love the word cinematic. I don't really know why. I find it a bit sort of diminutive. But considering now we're sort of doing more conceptual cinematic stuff, that camera helps. Alex Yu, would love to see you and Phoenician Sailor do a collab, especially after the King of Hearts roleplay. The same style of almost creepy awesome. I think your styles would gel. You, Alex Yu, 17, that would be an absolute honour and a privilege. I think the world of Phoenician Sailor, in fact, he's one of the ASMRtists whom I watch most often. I think his particular style are very erudite and sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Something. Role plays are just exactly my cup of tea. Very, very beautiful. Yeah, start the campaign now. Love to see it collab with Phoenician Sailor. Yes, as I say, get into his DMs. Let's make it happen. Adriana J. Hey, thanks very much for coming. Jenny, more tutorials would be great. Noted. Patrick Dawson, Sleep City and The Gentleman were amazing. It makes me regret not subbing. What did you learn from making these videos? Anything you learned from the gentleman that you brought to Sleep City? Yes. Very good question. The gentleman was my first foray into green screen compositing. And I definitely the gentleman took a lot longer for me than it should have, because it was a lot of me teaching myself things and figuring things out, which I really, really enjoyed doing. And Sleep City, I think, represented an evolution of being able to mimic a theatrical, filmic, sort of not surreal, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it expressionistic style? And basically, I'm going to keep pushing that. I want to see where it goes. Not to keep setting myself precedents that I may not be able to to follow up, but I'm interested to see, what sort of other graphic language we can get going. God, I think also that was just on the visual side of things. I think on the ASMR side of things, I'm conscious. I think why I slightly resent the term cinematic ASMR sometimes is that cinematic should, in my head, be the icing on the cake. You know, the sort of the way it's shot and the way it's visualized should be secondary in my head to making killer ASMR. And I think that Sleep City represented for me trying to, one, work with absolute legends that are the likes of Shani and Crinkle Oven and Katie ASMR, as well as Jim and Tommy, who I'd worked with for the gentleman. But two, helping to, try and make it more narrative, make it more immersive, and The thinking around this is evolving every day. So anyway, Starkiller, you are relaxing. Thank you. That's good to hear. Danny Page, Muzz, Spooky Ryan, everybody is here. So everybody certainly is. Where are we? Do. Shani. Hey, Shani. Shani is in the house. If anyone doesn't know Shani, and I would presume that no one doesn't know Shani, because she's an absolute legend. She played the Detective Kelly in... I don't know why I keep adjusting my cuffs, by the way, I'm sorry. It's a weird tick. She played Detective Kelly in Sleep City. And her part, I thought, was the most beautifully noir thing ever. She absolutely nailed it. So please, if you haven't seen her part in Sleep City, or indeed her channel, check her out. I think she's wonderful. I don't have enough good things to say about Shani. She's the best. Ali, thank you very much for coming, Ali. Will you do more noir-themed videos in future? Very possibly. I would say not for a little while, considering we've ticked that one off in the short term. But there is nothing at all to say that there won't be some sort of Sleep City follow-up in the future. But as I said to those suggesting a gentleman too, I want to get some more sort of worlds and stories down first before I start rolling out sequels. Because there's so much to explore. Why limit myself to a few things? Phoenician Center and Atlas collab would be amazing. Entirely agree. Kate, Sleep City is legit perfection. One of the favourite pieces of media I've ever seen. Kate, that's so lovely. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay, where are we at? Oh God, the chat's really moved away from us. Atlas ASMR reads a world atlas for a video. Oh my God, Crinkle Lovin's rated us. That's why we've got so many viewers. Hello to all of the Crinkle lovers, as well as Crinkle Lovin herself in the flesh. How was the rest of your premiere? I'm so sorry to have jumped out for a little bit. Okay, catch up on chat. Sign ASMR, Sex God is back with us. Kate, is there any genre you'd like to try for a future giant collaboration like the gentleman in Sleep City? Yes. I can't possibly say which, because I'm going to wait until my usual obnoxious teaser campaigns for those particular reveals. But yes, I have a big list of ideas, many of which are stupid, many of which are impossible, but I never remove anything from the list, they just stay on the list, and then day by day, sometimes things become less stupid or less impossible. Something will click with an idea, and I'll go, and then I'll use the creative energy driven from something suddenly becoming possible, and usually ride that out. Some ideas just sort of hit you, but yeah, I have lists and lists of things that I want to do. Catching up. Raid. Hey guys, it's so nice to have you all here. God, the chat's moving. We've got slide sounds in the house as well. Everyone, slide sounds. Rachel, you had a dream about Slight or you had a dream about me? I already know about one dream about me. Arthur Hastings from the video game We Happy Few. Anyone know what you're talking about? I don't. Please drop a link in the description. I would love to hear. You had a dream about Slight and Sign. Can I be in that dream next time, please? Please invite me. Demiga, hey, how did you meet Jim? I assume we're talking to me here. I met Jim in very close to where he lives, and we had many beers at many pubs, and got absolutely mortal drunk. I don't want to spread any things about Jim to his very impressionable band of followers. Sorry, Jim's a saint. Jim Chi ASMR is an absolute saint. I love that man to bits. He is my hero and my mentor and my friend. Kate, thank you so much for your answers, Atlas. Seriously, you're brilliant in every way. You're far too kind, Kate. Feel free to keep asking questions, because otherwise I'm going to have to start going. And no one wants that. Not from me. Maybe I should become a triggers guy. Maybe I'm born for it. Alexa, voice of a god. For real. So soothing. That clicking sound is good. Don't stop. Okay. We're entering the no voice section of the stream. Sign, is that an Xbox controller? No. It's a Switch Pro controller. Yes. I'm going to go see Jim again at some point, and I can't wait. That man's a god. Ziggy, nah, stick to roleplay. You're a man after my own heart, Ziggy. Ziggy man. Alex Yu, Jim and Atlas getting sloshed together sounds like one hell of a time. Yeah, it was weird. Shit got weird. In a good way. In a really good way. Fate Loves Tomorrow. Atlas, what are you playing right now in terms of video games? I'd confess that I'm a part-time gamer at best. I really go through phases of being an absolute geek, but at the moment I don't have anything that I'm obsessed by. I think the last thing I was just completely obsessed by was God of War, the most recent God of War on the PlayStation. Now I'm sort of muscling my way through Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a good mindless game, but gets repetitive after a while. Jim is a saint. You're hilarious. Jim is a saint. Hey. Sign, you should totally do a trigger video. As I've said before, I think I'd be shit at a trigger video. I just don't think I'd be very good at it, because, I mean, as I said, I could do this for an hour, and it would be perfectly enjoyable. I don't doubt at all that we would create some perfectly lovely sounds, but I don't know how I would make it unlike any other trigger video doing this. Well, no, I do, but it's not necessarily why I started the channel. I like telling stories, I like creating immersive experiences, I like sort of pushing projects around, doing sort of new creative things, blah. And And it's not to say that I won't one day do a trigger video. Sparkling water was what was, I guess, a very long preamble to a bit of trigger, a bit of sort of straight triggers. But, you know, I do have one planned. Actually, I am lying. I do have a trigger video planned. So I'll just stop talking circles around myself. I'd love to have a beer drinking competition with Jim and Atlas. Danny, you do not. You do not. That sounds like a terrible time. It actually sounds like a very, very fun time. I would love for you to come and drink beer with us, please. Sounds like Rachel's recent Kimber vid. If anyone doesn't know this, there might be a few who don't. Rachel Crinkleoven was kind enough to invite me to play Jim's gay lover in her recent suburban mums sort of epic. I play a guy called Spike, which is a great name. Spike is the lover of Enrique. Mate, chug that beer in one go. No, I'm beyond responding to that sort of peer pressure, but I will take a sip, because I want to be a cool kid. Slight, how's that poster going you were working on? Thanks for asking. So, to paint this with some level of secrecy, because I can't actually say to a live internet audience what poster I was working on, but part of my job is sort of creating graphic campaigns for Broadway and West End shows, and I was given the opportunity a week or two ago to work on a rather large one, pitch new ideas for what is a large, long-running musical. And that was an incredibly exciting thing, not least because that is my job, and two, because I very much like musicals, and this musical in particular. Pardon me. I submitted those designs today, and am happy with them, let's say, and I'm very excited to hear the result, so I will let you know. If I don't get it, I'm going to be a sad mess on the ground. Sign, just give us a few sexy looks and we're golden. I don't know, do I have sexy looks? The Red Wolf, that's why I love Jim's channel. Stories are what drive us. Looking forward to more of your work, Atlas. Thank you so much, The Red Wolf. I think you're an absolute legend for being as supportive as you are. Jim's narrative and storytelling ability is a level that I will always aspire to. I mean, I'm going to be probably doing mine slightly differently because Jim has the ability to sort of rattle off this amazing and complex story, sort of off the cuff. I know that he writes, he starts off with a script, but then often deviates from it and has this ability to be sort of incredibly engaging and creative with words in the moment in a way that I am not necessarily. As Crinkle Loving can tell you, I love a script, I love a plan, I love crafting something for a long time before it sees the light of day. That is my way of working. Where are we? Fate Loves Tomorrow. Also, I want to stress again that the gentlemen in Sleep City are amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Rachel, oh yeah, did you get it done? I got it done. And actually, Rachel, I'll probably send you what I did because you might like to see it. How long did Sleep City take? Asks Matthew. Again, I'm just playing with my cuff constantly. Call me out on it when I do it because it's ridiculous. I don't need to be playing with my cuff as much as I am. Why is this happening? How long did Sleep City take? In sort of a similar amount of time as The Gentleman, in that it took more planning than it actually took sort of filming and putting it together. So usually the way I like to work is sort of giving people let's say a month or 3 weeks, say, to submit videos, submit their pieces of the collab to a sort of outline or concept document that I've submitted to them, and The whole process takes about a month, but most of that is just allowing time for everyone to fit it into their schedules, because everyone's got loads and loads of projects on the go at once. Between me receiving everyone's videos and me releasing Sleep City, it probably took about 4 days. And it was I won't say stressful, because no part of it was a stress. I mean, the stressful part was balancing it with the full-time job. But it was let's just say, long 4 days. Sleepless 4 days. But an incredible 4 days. Where are you from? Asks Carla. I'm from New Zealand, Aotearoa. If you haven't been to New Zealand, when you can travel again, I highly recommend going. Obviously, I'm sure they won't be letting people in for the foreseeable future. But when New Zealand is back open for business, please, please go. I can't recommend it enough. Kate, Ollie, you're perfect casting for Spike. I hope he makes another appearance. Side-eye. This is me doing the side-eye emoji to Rachel. Wait, does that beer glass say beer on it? Asks Alex Yu. It does. It says beer on it because I stole it from a pub. Do. Where are we? Cheers to Atlas. Thank you so much. I presume we're talking about the poster thing. You'll get it, asks Twinkle. If I don't know what I will do. I won't be able to celebrate. If I get it, I'll do something celebratory. How about that? I might do another celebratory live stream. Why not? Mariam, Rachel, Jim, Atlas, Articulate Design, ASMR is incredible. I love to watch. I completely agree, particularly, with all of those, but considering I haven't spoken about Articulate Design for all of 5 seconds, I love Matt a lot. Matt is the best person ever. Atlas, do you like Guinness? Yes, I do. I am half Irish. My mother is Irish, and I'm in England on the grace of an Irish passport. So I like to, in my own way, celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I say celebrate. Is it a day? Is it a day you sort of celebrate these days? It's a complicated day, like any national holiday, I guess. But I celebrate it with my family and close friends, and make like Irish stew and drink Guinness and stuff, and commemorate my dead grandfather and various other personal things. Adriana J. Atlas, I do have a question. Do you listen to ASMR in another language, or with another kind of English accent? With other kinds of English accent? I very seldom listen to ASMR in other languages, to be honest. Like, that's not for any other reason apart from just I haven't tried it yet. I mean, I probably should. And other accents, to be honest. Pardon me. To be honest, most of the ASMR I listen to, by virtue of most of the creators being American, are some form of American accent. So English accents, I don't tend to listen to that many of them, apart from very close friends like Jim and such, and Tippy Tappy and Katie and whatnot. Yeah, I love, I think an accent that I do love is Scottish. I am a big fan of Muzz's very particular accent. Love it. Oh gosh, does he ever love a plan? I certainly bloody do. Okay. Nathan, wait, what happened to that large beer? Did you finish it while I was gone? Still going, Nathan. Okay, how's the chat? Toodaloo. Gosh, the chat keeps on banging around. Okay, where am I? Ali asks, how do you balance these videos with a full-time job? Videography is so time-intensive. It so is. Oh my god, I have no idea how I balance it with a full-time job. Luckily and unluckily, I'm working from home, considering London is still partially in lockdown, and to work in entertainment, theatre, film, what I work in, is slow, by virtue of the world being how it is. So I'm able to balance it with no small amount of sort of time management, but also just sort of doing things like rendering all of your green screen stuff at night, and sort of trying to make sure that everything's as fast as it can be, and just planning. as Rachel says. I love a bloody plan. But I'm still working out workflow, you know? Like, all of this stuff is super new, and I'll get better and faster. Okay. ASMR Muzz has gone to feed his kids. Catch you all later. Catch you later, Muzz. Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to our Kiwi collab whenever that comes. Okay. Where are we? Birch in the Woods. How detailed do you script plan out the other roles in your collabs? To be honest, I am hesitant to not give every artist in these collabs the credit that they deserve, because they make... The collabs are entirely just the sum of their parts. They entirely make these videos. Like, you know, Shani, Crinkle Oven, Tommy, Jim, Katie were, you know, as well as me, but very much them, the reason that Sleep City went down well, and I hope I can say that it went down well. And so while I do give an outline as to the characters and to the vague plot, and I need to stress that the narrative isn't sort of complex, and I sort of outline my thinking and the style and the sort of, I suggest things, I suggest ways of speaking, every artist very much brings themselves to these collabs. Yeah, but it's always a bit of sort of give and take with each individual, you know, performer, cast member. I don't know what to call them. ASMRtist. Some need more scripting, sort of steering than others, and some just roll with it. Some just do their thing, and I just sort of accommodate it and fit around it. So it's very much a collaboration in its pure sense. Okay, where are we? Laurel has to get back to work. Well, thank you so much for coming. Crinkle, I had Lucy as Creative Clam, but she got mad. I can't imagine why. Old Creative Calm. Creative Clam, rather. I'm going to start calling her Creative Clam. Tammy, half the fun of drinking beer is the birch. Let it fly and get creative with it, man. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be experiencing some burping ASMR. This has apparently just become my stream thing. Rachel, thank you for hating my accent. I don't hate your accent. I love your accent. I'm just saying that I like Muzz's more. I'm just saying that it's better. I, as I say, watch more American ASMR than I watch any other type of ASMR. But, yes. Nathan, I should have got to you before naming my channel. Creative Clam ASMR. That would have been awesome. Okay. Fate Loves, the chat belongs to us now. It certainly does. I'm not keeping up. And I apologise if there are strange noises. I have no idea why. Question. In your line of work, do you get to meet celebrities from Sleeping Artist ASMR? Yes. I do. And I would say that the majority of... Well, there's a plane going past too. This is a superlative ASMRing. Yes, I do. And a lot of the people that I take photos of, considering that I work in film and theatre, do tend to be well-known types. And so a lot of what I do is managing personalities, and I find that often an interesting challenge. I do have stories, but they are not going on YouTube. Sending good vibes for your job. Theatre is really taking a hard hit right now, says Fate Loves Tomorrow. Yes, it is. It really is. And my world is very much at the beck and call and whim of how the theatre industry is performing at any one time. So I am very much following that situation. But I am optimistic, very optimistic, that the arts will never die. It will always be around in some form, and the forms that these things will take will always need posters, simplistically. Where are we? You can always call Tommy Dirty Hooker. I do in my head. Ali, who was the first ASMRtist you collaborated with? My first collab ever was when I invited... I think this is true. When I invited Tippy Tappy ASMR and Sign ASMR to do the You Got This video. which is another black and white one. Now, I think we released something like 4 months ago, something like that. And at the time, that was my sort of first sort of departure from me just reading and laughing at stories. But at the time, for those who haven't seen it or don't know about it, You Got This was very much us speaking to and sort of trying to understand some issues surrounding being locked down and the anxiety and sleeplessness around this early time in coronavirus where everyone just felt shit. I'm not saying that people still don't feel shit, they do, but it was so uncertain. And we just made a video that was just us chatting. And it was rewarding. It was really cool. And those two are very dear friends. So that is the first. Those were the first ASMRtists that I collaborated with, and indeed I went on to collaborate with them further for the gentleman. Tippy Tappy was Red Harry, and Sign was Trevor Sharp. Playing with my cuffs again. Freaking hell. I could listen to Atlas say clam for hours. Clam. Everyone loves a Scottish accent, Rachel. It's sexier. But Ollie's is the sexiest of all. Fiona. You legend. That's so nice. I struggle with the idea that a New Zealand accent, or New Zenglish, as I think we coined in the first live stream I did, but very much New Zealand. I struggle with the idea that that's remotely sexy. Probably because I grew up there, and I know New Zealand accents, some of them anyway, to be quite harsh. Quite grating. But hey ho. Atlas, just undo the sleeve cuff, says the Red Wolf. I know. I'm so sorry. At some point I'm going to have to stop talking and just do the controller sounds so I can keep my hands busy and not doing this. Justin, what inspired the name for your channel? Atlas, for those who don't know, is the cuff. I'm just going to sit on my hand. Is the Greek titan who held the heavens on his shoulders, who when he was imprisoned by Zeus, or made to do so by Zeus. And why he... I'm so gesticulatory, though. I need my hands to speak. Why did I call myself Atlas? That's a very good question. I love mythology, and I love storytelling, as we've all come to know. And it was a random pick, but I think it suits me. What kind of pendant medallion is that you're wearing? This is called a ponamu. Jenny, just for you. I don't know how to stop playing with my cuffs. But just for you, I will really make an effort. Thank you so much. I still have no idea how to respond to such generous support. So thank you. Thank you. I love you to bits. So, Atlas, yes, I think suits me. Where do we go? Pendant, okay, pendant. It's a ponamu. It's basically a jade greenstone from New Zealand. It's a something of a Maori tradition that they're given to people who leave New Zealand by often a family member as a sort of token keepsake. Now often they're blessed by people, and yes, I could go into the sort of lore and tradition of them, but maybe that's a whole other video. In fact, it is one that I've planned around everything New Zealandish. Thank you, Jenny, so much for coming. Ronan, that collab with the three of you was remarkable. With me and Tippy Tappy, thank you so much. Yeah, I, at the time, really, I think we all needed to hear it. We made that video for us. Okay, Tyler, what video games do you play the most? Xbox One, PS4, Switch. Probably PS4. I play Switch as well, but I played Mario Kart to death. I feel I could play Mario Kart with my eyes closed now. Hold something and fidget with it, and it helps. We all like fidgety sounds. Church Owl, what's your opinion on the Netherlands? And while we're on that topic, ever smoked weed? I can't speak for the Netherlands as a whole, but Amsterdam is one of my favourite places in the world. I go to Amsterdam probably at least once a year. I've been there like 5 times plus so far. And I love it to bits. Have I ever smoked weed? Yes. Highly recommend a fidget cube. What's a fidget cube? Fate Loves Tomorrow, thank you so much for coming to listen to me waffle. I'm amazed that there are 81 people here wanting to just watch me be a dog. Crinkle Oven crushing on Atlas. Ooh, yeah, but it's mutual though, so it's fine. Valentine? What do you think about Phoenician Sailor's content? Phoenician Sailor, as I mentioned earlier before, when I was when people were saying that I should collab with them, Phoenician Sailor is one of the ASMRtists whom I look up to the most and whose videos I watch the most. I love Phoenician Sailor. Yeah, love him to bits. Any more TV film videos upcoming? Loved The Gentleman. TV film videos. What an interesting way of putting it. I guess they are in a sense. I guess what I didn't expect from The Gentleman, it wasn't really an intention, was that it did feel like something of a small movie. And yeah, I am keen to keep making, I guess, longer content with a bigger cast that has a sort of overarching creative sort of through line and conception. And yes, so definitely they are in the works and coming. The problem is, of course, they require long lead times and no small amount of work. So please forgive that I cannot be one of the legends like Jim ASMR, fucking coming out with three role plays a week. The man's a machine. I mean, he's hot. Are we talking about Phoenician Sailor here? Because Phoenician Sailor's hot. Randomly stumbled across the channel. Good content, says Zorbical. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Please hang about. Love to have you here. Crinkle Oven, I have one too. The Switch is my favourite side. I flick it back and forth while I edit. Slight, yes, more mini movies. Side eye, slight. Yeah, as I've said, I have so many ideas percolating, things just in the works. And as I said before, it's a huge list, and one day, some days, ones just click, and then I go, yes, okay, that would work. I can see that working. And then, yeah, I mean, it's an early journey. We're in early stages. The Gentleman was only 6 or 7 weeks ago. But actually, I appreciate that many or most of you are here since The Gentleman and since Sleep City. So, I must deliver the content that the people are after. Bagel Dogs ASMR. It is Atlas. It is Bagel Dogs. Hello. Welcome. Skeleton's Sinner. What do you enjoy reading other than fairy tales, of course? My literature of choice these days are often, slightly to my chagrin because it's my job as well, they're often plays, you know? They're often plays and scripts. I have to read so many scripts in my line of work that that sometimes I don't have too much of an appetite for reading fiction in my spare time, which is a bit sad because I used to be a great lover of fiction in my teens. Yeah. I also love non-fiction and biographies and such. Alright, where are we? I love your cinematic ASMR videos, they're awesome. Thanks for all your hard work. Thanks, that's Awkward ASMR. As I say, I sort of, I find the word cinematic interesting because the aesthetic of it, even though that's the part that I really, really enjoy, I find it very much just a storytelling device. You know, you don't want the visuals to get in the way of what it is that you're trying to roleplay. You want the viewer to be very immersed. And for me, the content that I enjoy watching, I will be very distracted if there is things drawing me out of the action. And therefore, if I'm doing a noir roleplay or noir mini movie, then it needs to look the part. Otherwise, I don't get, I can't, fall asleep to it. And that's what I'm trying to do with cinematography. Is that I'm trying to have it get out of the way of good old-fashioned ASMRing. Crinkle Event, we are working on a mini movie, but we need some people to get their butts in motion. Seb, listen to her. Get writing, okay? We're waiting on you. Jokes, Seb. We're waiting on everyone. Valentine, what types of music do you listen to? I listen to loads and loads of different types of music. There are very few things that I think I can exclude as being something that I like. I listen to soul and funk and disco, and I listen to, I can listen to sort of acoustic stuff often. I listen to classical, I'm a big fan of opera, which might surprise some. I listen to musical soundtracks. I'm a big old dorky nerd. How did you come up with The Gentleman? That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever answered that before. The same way, I guess anyone comes up with anything, it sort of just once came to me. I'm not really sure at what point, but I remember talking to Liam, Tippy Tappy, ASMR, and saying, would you be interested if I was to organise a big collab that was vaguely around a Guy Ritchie sort of gentleman heist, sort of gangster flick? And he said, yeah, sure, it sounds like a cool idea. And then I asked, all the various other cast members individually, and it just sort of came together. It wasn't this like divine conception thing where the whole thing just sort of hit me and then it immediately fell into place. It very much started off, the singular idea in my head was, I want to have a bunch of men in suits just doing ASMR. I didn't think actually that had really been done. A sort of mass male role play. And don't get me wrong, like, there was no reason at all this had to be all male. I just thought it would be a fun sort of concept to have a bunch of men in suits doing some ASMR. Not in a sexy way, but in just like, I just thought it'd be cool. But it evolved into something that had a sort of cool gangster vibe. Where are we? Jodie Marie says, awesome mini movies, look forward to new ones. I should say, and credit where credit's due, that Jodie Marie ASMR, in conjunction with Jim Chi, really were part of the inspiration behind this whole dark turn that the channel's taken, because I was involved, if you've seen the King of Hearts roleplay on my channel, that was my first ever roleplay. I'm playing with my cuffs again. First ever roleplay. And they made an Alice in Wonderland collab, which was very much in itself a mini movie. And I was so taken by that idea that you could do that. Anyway. Michael T. Could there be a Kingsman roleplay collab? Yeah, I mean, Kingsman was directed by Michael Vaughan, who was a collaborator of, unless I'm mistaken, Guy Ritchie. And so they have very similar styles. So I think you'll find that Kingsman was partially an influence in The Gentleman. Oh God, my camera quality is really breaking up now. There's no light here. And if we're to do similar videos in the future, if we're to do some sort of follow-up, then yes, Kingsman is very much going to play into it. Okay, where are we? Alfie, is that you? It certainly is. Except Alfie Strong's more down here. Left leg, right leg, shut up. With my terrible Cockney accent. All of my mates constantly mock me. They we'll be saying something, we'll be having a conversation, and they'll be like, da 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 da, casino. Da 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 da, casino. Like, oh yeah bro, oh kia ora bro, going to the shop and getting some chops, and casino. Because they think I have a real Kiwi accent in it. I tried my best. Did anyone like how I tried to do an American accent for Sleep City? I don't know where in America that accent's from. Slight. I've been on such a disco kick lately. Yes. Ronan, I like opera as well. Yes. You are my people. You are my tribe. I should actually announce at some point that I've started a Patreon. I felt so embarrassed. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so embarrassed, but I have. I've started a Patreon, and I haven't told anyone about it yet, because I'm quite like, I don't know, nervous to. But here we are. I'm announcing I have a Patreon, because I've worked out that producing these videos actually cost me money. So, if anyone felt like supporting me in more ways than coming to my premiere, and I appreciate, not my premiere, my live chat, and I appreciate that this is, so supportive. But if you felt like throwing me a buck, I have a Patreon, Atlas ASMR. Just a quick plug for that. I'll shut up now. Big old dorky nerds are how this entire community mate. Fiona Morris, it's the best community to be in. Slight, but also a sexy way. The gentleman, also, I'll take the nude version. We're going to do a gentleman calendar and release it for Christmas. I hope you're ready for it. Oni, hey man, love your videos, specifically the sparkling water video. Yes. Job done. Never doing cinematic ASMR anymore. Never again. Just sparkling water videos. Thank you so much. Where are we? I heard about your chat topics for that collab. It was from Tom. Yes, I can send you some screenshots that I took of various messages that I got from Tom in the middle of the night with, interesting chat. I love that man. I hope he's going to see this stream again, so I'm not going to tell him that I love him too much. Where are we? You skipped my question. Churchill, what's the question? I got 4 grams of pink kush left. Do you want it? No thanks. Or at least I won't answer that over YouTube. Opera to disco to funk, my heart. Kate, we're 2 P's. GG, a Patreon. Yeah, a Patreon. A Patreon. Join the Atlas Army if you want to. I'm still figuring out what Patreon is and what it means and what I should be promising to people, because cuffs, that's the first promise. I don't play with my cuffs in a video, and I will not keep that promise. Yeah, Patreon. Basically, it's only one tier. It's only $1 or £1 or €1, whatever you want, a month, and that just means that it's just a tip jar. Just means we just get to be a little bit closer, and it means that my shelf life as an ASMRtist possibly is a little longer. Okay, where are we? I love the way you pronounce your vowels. It's very cinematic. Cristiano, ASMR. My vowels. That's very kind, I guess. I mean, I don't even know how I pronounce my vowels. That's so exciting. I've learned a new thing about myself. Thank you. Call it some cool name like Jim's. I might just call it, what does Jim call his? I might just call it that. I'll just copy Jim's. Have I played Red Dead Redemption 2? It seems like the type of game you'd enjoy. It would be the sort of game that I would enjoy. I've not played it. I tend to get sucked into video games, so I tend to avoid them because it makes me rather counterproductive. One day. I mean, there are loads I'm looking to play. Elizabeth Leather, still fascinated by your Lucid Dreams video. Thank you. Limbo was really interesting and fun to make because it was experimental and weird, and I don't want anyone here to think for a second that I'm just going to be going down the route of producing sort of movies, because I'm always going to want to keep doing cinematic weird experimental weird stuff. That may not necessarily be well received, it may not necessarily get loads of views, but this is a sandbox, right? You gotta play around in it. I love your sparkling water video too. Thank you, Fiona. Sam, you're awesome, dude. I literally watch that gentleman video every single day. Sam, you're a legend. Thank you so much. That's really cool. You can only make content that you want to watch, right? And the gentleman was not at all inspired by wanting to get the amount of views that it has. Like the fact that it has, what, over 130,000 views? I would have been happy if it had 1,000 views. Like, the joy was the process. And it was just, as I say, lightning in a bottle. Absolute magic. So thank you, Sam. Marvin, would you ever go full-time ASMR? I think unlikely. Mainly because I love what I do. But there's nothing to say that I wouldn't incorporate it into what I do, into just having a sort of creative studio that manages all of the stuff, because it's all the same stuff. It's all just, creativity being executed in various different ways. But I love ASMR. I rave about ASMR to everyone. It's such an amazing opportunity to be able to create literally anything you want to do. Like, we look at Rachel's video that she just put out. Crinkle Lovin' ASMR's recent sort of horror video. It's amazing that something like that is just such premium escapism. Like, you wouldn't think that a horror ASMR, without knowing what it is, without knowing what ASMR is, would necessarily relax you, but it just transports you, It shocks you out of your comfort zone and makes you forget all the anxiety that is riddling and just consuming you, and instead just puts you in a completely new universe. And that's what I want my videos to do, and let's call them cinema. I want them to transport you. I mean, all entertainment's escapism, right? But ASMR presents such a wonderful opportunity to have, the viewer very much creating their own escapism. Do you accept fan art? I'm drawing the sexy koala. Can't I add the sea otter to my list? I would consider it a great honour if you wanted to. I've come dressed as him today. Alex Yu, I think a dark academia apocalypse world would suit you well, like Dark Librarian watches over the world. Wow, what a well painted thought. Yeah, what an idea, Alex Yu. Flick me a comment and flesh it out. I'm all ears. Where are we? You've now got a second patron, lol. Justin. My hat is off to you, sir. Welcome to the Atlas Army, or whatever we're going to call it. I'll accept. Please send me your name suggestions. Jody, I must go. Sorry, this has been great. Thank you so much, Jody, for coming. I love you. Jody. Demigar. I always find myself rewatching The Gentleman. Let Red Harry kill a dude next time. Yeah, Liam Tippy Tappy ASMR did rather embody that role scarily well. But it was very good. Guys, I was really nervous about doing the stream, to be honest, because I was feeling crap all day. But this has cheered me up no end. So thank you so much for coming. Demigo, I want to see a Red Harry painting. Oh, no you don't. No you don't. You don't like what he paints with. Obviously you should one-up Jim and stick with the mythology theme and call your Patreon community Olympus. Mic drop. Olympus. That is rad. Yeah, okay. Strong contender. Can anyone beat it? Cristiano, you express the centre of words in a very soulful way. It's kind of musical. Thank you. That's how I can hear you pronounce your vowels. Honestly, I'd love to use your voice to make my own ASMR. It's very deep, yet soft. Very generous of you to say. Mohammed, hello friend. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for coming. Amazing, you have a very relaxing voice, not gonna lie. Helpful, I think, doing ASMR like mine, so thank you very much. I, to be honest, relished the opportunity to do a pan, vaguely American accent in Sleep City because, as I have said, American ASMR is what I listen to probably most of all, by virtue of many of them being American, and by virtue of some of my favourites like, Ephemeral Rift and Phoenician Sailor, being from America. Mariam, did you collab with Matt? By Matt, do we mean Articulate Design? Yes, well, he was in The Gentleman. He was first up after me. Mr. Blue. I love Matt, and I would jump at the chance to work with him again. And in fact, Matt and I are very close in the community and help each other out with various bits. I sometimes help him with his thumbnails and various other things. Anyway, the police are coming to arrest you. I heard those sirens. Yes, apologies for my not remotely soundproof flat. Crinkle Oven, you have to use Olympus. I think I probably will have to. Olympus is quite cool. But it is a mountain and doesn't necessarily refer to a community, but it's just so epic. At the moment, my one tier is called Titan. Rather on the nose. Olympus is probably better. But let's keep spitballing. Jamie, the Gentleman video is top quality. Loved it. Love you. You're top quality. Thank you. Fiona, stop talking and drink the damn beer. Yes, ma'am. I apologise. Chug, chug, chug. I've got a rather big weekend ahead of me. I say big, I'm just going to the beach, but I don't want to be on terrible form for it. I went to the beach when I was meeting Chimchi ASMR for many beers, and I rather wrote myself off the next day. So I think since that moment I'm trying to treat my beach trips slightly more sensibly. So many ASMRtists I've watched are up in here. Whoa, says Demigar. Yes, they are. Perfect. Tati, you're here. Thank you so much for coming. Bryony, hello. All the newbies, all the newbies to the chat. Thank you guys. It's been an hour and 15 minutes of me talking absolute smack. Julia, I'm probably quite late here, so I'm sorry if this was asked before. Where did the idea of making your own ASMR channel come from? And no one has asked it so far, so thank you very much for the very original question. Where did the idea come from? Nowhere. I watched a GB video somehow, somewhere on the internet in January, very randomly, and the next day bought a microphone and started it entirely on a whim, which turned out to be a great decision. But it generally takes me not very much at all to act on my impulses. Tyler, Atlas Army. That sounds like a rock band. If you made a video around that, you could incorporate leather sounds into it. You're really pushing the leather thing, aren't you? They wear leather jackets and leather pants in those. Hey, for you, Tyler, I'm sure leather will make it into one of the videos at some point. If I can point you to Jim Chee's bit in The Gentleman, he plays a character called Mickey Rat, and he cracks a safe wearing leather gloves. Check it out. Alex Yu. Oh, fleshed out dark academia world. I gotcha. A world filled with storms, while one lone librarian sits above it, all company to books and one lone stranger. Secrets to be shared and mysteries to be seen. Alex Yu, it sounds great. It sounds great. Tie it in with the story of Atlas, because I think you could create that. I mean, I can absolutely picture the vibe, but actually, if I was to do a sort of Greek mythology story, I could see it sharing a similar stormy vibe. I thought Zeitgeist would have been in The Gentleman. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Mohammed, Atlas, what is your opinion about Muslim fans? I'm Muslim. Sorry if England is not good. I'm not England, I'm Arabic. If you want, I have more questions. I welcome all fans. Thank you very much for coming. Fiona, how many beers? I need to know. I'm on my first. I'm being so slow. I don't know if you've seen me fiddling with my cuffs, but that is what my hands have been doing, not drinking beers. But hey, I'm doing the right thing now. The police heard you speak good about sparkling water video and have come to put some sense into you. Sparkling water's great. I won't hear a word against sparkling water. Bryony, I hope you're well. Sorry I missed most of it. It's great to have you here, Bryony. Thank you so much for coming. Atlas Smack is the best smack. It certainly is. Charmaine, the voice is so sexy. Dankeschön. Demigod, I got so hyped when Jim subbed to me and then I cried when my laptop broke because now I can't make content. Oh my god, that's such a tragedy. Please get a new laptop and make content. Perfect, you're an absolute delight to watch. If I can repay the compliment, I think that you are too. If everyone hasn't been to Perfect ASMR's channel, her content is rather delightful. Please go check it out. Blessed up, dude, keep making videos. Your voice is pure gold. Thank you. I will. I will. Where did you get the hand painting from, and what is it for? That is an inking by an artist from New Zealand called Amber Smith. I think it's Amber Smith. Yes, it is. And the other one that you can see right up there is also Amber Smith. I like Amber Smith as an artist, Kiwi artist, and I collect her stuff. Sandra, hello Atlas, so wonderful to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you are too. Thank you. I bought a leather jacket. It comes with leather pants for free. Excellent life choices, Ronan. Bryony, silly question, but what is your font style? I love it. I presume you're talking about the little sort of expressionistic handwriting that I do on my thumbnails and such. And that's not a font. It's just me just drawing. Thank you, though. Oh, Fiona, I mean, how many beers had you had with Jim? Oh, I don't remember. Far too many. Ask Jim. He probably doesn't remember. Some beers. Christiana, oh my god, Zeitgeist and Atlas together. My ears could not be more happy with that idea. Sometimes I play two ASMR videos at once with a blended sound combo. Yeah, all I can say is just campaign him. Zeitgeist is a lovely energy in the community, and he and I have spoken many times, and I can very, very easily and plainly say that I would relish the chance to collab with him, of course. Okay. Charmaine, your voice is like silk, pure golden, and I love the gentleman. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gentlemen's good times. Alex, you're on a Greek pantheon tie, and I can do that too. Titans, Resurgence, Kronos, Typhon, Atlas may be a good concept for collabs. Yeah. Atlas is the sky, so lives tower side. Now that is a concept that I can really get on board with. Rider treatment, and let's make something cool. I like it. I like the idea. The Russian Smurf. Hello. Cheers from Portugal. Cheers from London. Welcome. Bryony, do I use a drawing pad? Yes, I do. So those thumbnails I do largely on the iPad. I love my little iPad. And I have one of those screen protectors that makes it sound all very like paper. Sort of. You may not be able to hear it. It's pretty light. But yes, I do a lot of drawing, a lot of sort of illustration on the iPad. Volvitz. I love the gentleman. Did you have the idea for all the characters, or was it a team effort? By the way, your voice is so smooth, like putting honey on fresh toast. Thank you. For the gentleman, I had basically, for that, it works slightly differently for Sleep City. With the gentleman, I threw out a list of role plays that I thought would be good sort of gentleman gangster role plays, like suit fittings, or for the articulate design character there were also like a shoe fitting, or various other things, pouring whiskey, whatever. And everyone in the collab picked what they thought they would be best at, or what they liked to do. And I wrote a plot around that. when everyone had picked. And I threw out a list of character names, character suggestions, and some took those and some improved upon those. For instance, I threw out Harry, but Tippy Tappy made it Red Harry. And I threw out Mickey, but Jim made it Mickey the Rat. Same with Sleep City. I threw out Joe, and Jim made it Blind Joe. So, like, everyone brings a lot of themselves to the collabs. But I do start with with suggestions and sort of write the plot around the characters, because for me it's about these ASMRtists. They are the stars. In my collabs, if everyone could have a bloody trailer and a whole pampering, fluffing team, then they would. It's about them, and I write or sort of craft it around them. Do. Atlas uncle owned cafe in Syria. You come eat free. How much you want? We are fans. We are very big fans. Hey, when I can, I'll come to Syria. Maybe a while away though. Great that your uncle owns his own cafe. How did you get people to be in The Gentleman? I asked very nicely. But the thing that I've found very generally in life, but also with regards to creative projects, is that people gravitate around the person with the plan. And if you have a plan, it's much easier for someone to say whether or not they'll commit. And if it's a good plan, they're much more likely to commit. So, you just need to have a plan, and you need to ask nicely, and you just need to be respectful, and I'm lucky enough to have made friends with most of these people already. So people like Matt, Articulate Design, Sign, Tippy Tappy, all these people, and Jim, I was friends with them already. So it was just a bunch of mates making something cool together. None of it was me sort of going out too far on a limb to ask favors from people, because it's all just a gang talking shit in a group chat. It was easy. Crinkle, I need an Atlas cranial nerve exam. I've been thinking about this because I don't think that I want to do a cranial nerve exam. Basically, I am aware that if I was to do certain role plays, a cranial nerve exam, if I was to do a shoe fitting, if I was to do a game store role play, if I was to do an eye exam, if I was to do a whole host of things that I'm sure I would get views from, then I would get views from them. But I'm just not sure that it feels that me, Basically, I would if I had a killer concept around it, and I'm working on it. I need to find a way for the Atlas cranial nerve exam to be very me, I don't just want to do a doctor roleplay for the sake of it, because there are people who will be way better than me at doing that, Crinkle Lovin', you are a master of, surgical roleplays, and you really know your stuff around this sort of things. And various other male creators have done very successful cranial nerve exams. Most ASMRtists have done very successful cranial nerve exams. I just need to think of a way to do my own spin. Tell a story. Make something happen that you don't expect. Never say never. Maybe. This isn't me saying, by the way, I should preface this by saying that I don't think it's the domain of a certain type of artist. I think everyone should do anything, and I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea of doing trigger videos, but I think a medical role play, I would just need to, I don't know, maybe, who knows? As I say, I'm really, really early on in the journey. Blustery idiot. Where are we? PS4 controller. This is a Switch controller, but I do have PS4 as well. What have I been playing recently? I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Thank you so much for coming, Kate. It's been great having you here. Perfect. I love you guys. Thank you, Tatty. Miss Chloe. Hey, Atlas. Nice to catch you live. It goes without saying that your videos and collabs are awesome. Thanks, Miss Chloe. I love reading your comments when you leave comments. Do you have any hints for what's in store for us next? No, because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to deliver something that may not actually happen, because my thinking can sometimes change on a whim. I've got so many things that I'm writing at the moment, ideas that I'm writing, but many of them may not come through. You know, like I spent a whole 2 weeks writing a role play based on Amadeus, the movie. And it was basically a scene where Mozart basically dictates his Requiem, which is this beautiful, beautiful piece of music, to Salieri, who Salieri is, possibly in this play and in this movie, he's reported to have maybe played a part in his death and his arrival. But then after 2 weeks of me writing it and being very excited about it, I was like, would anyone watch me playing Mozart? Dictating music? A requiem? Basically conducting a beautiful piece of music? I've parked that idea. Unless you guys really want to see it. Where are we? Gigi, would you ever consider doing a cowboy western collab? Yes, I would. Alex, I guess I better get writing then. Do it. And Twitter me. Message me. Perfect. Tati, you're so talented, Ollie. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Valentine, I loved the Alice in Wonderland video. What was the idea behind that? Cuffs. The King of Hearts was just my first foray into taking a character that, I guess it was a really minor character in Alice in Wonderland, and working out how I could put my own spin on it. And the idea behind it basically was Boris Johnson, who was the bumbling Prime Minister of the UK. His speech telling everyone to stay at home, but then to go to work, but actually to stay at home unless, this very confusing public service announcement. And I thought, well, I'm going to play a mad king who is as confused as our mad Prime Minister. I hope I don't seem on the fence about that. What are your favourite ASMR trigger types? Cristiano asks. Soft-spoken and whispered voice, usually male voice. I'll tell Uncle, when you come, you'll be treated like a king. Very kind of you, Mohammed. Keep being yourself and doing different things. Blessed up. I will. I'll try. Just for you. Danny, no doubt you'll come up with a killer concept with a cranial nerve exam, Atlas. Have I committed to this now? I have a surprise. I will make ASMR in the future after graduate. Mariam, do it. I'd love to see it. Charmaine, you should do a roleplay about a small bookstore and get other ASMR people to do the snippets of characters in a book. Yeah, to be honest, I know I've sort of taken the roleplay path, and you know what? I don't even use the word roleplay necessarily, because I'm not an actor. I'm not a role player, and that's not what I think about when I sort of create a collab. I don't really. The bit that I hate the most, to be honest, is me having to act, because I think I'm shit. But I'd like to eventually do an idea that ties in the reading, just as a little tribute to the people, first 50 people or whatever who watch my readings. That sort of brings a little bit of that flavour back into what I'm doing now, and I, find it hard to define what I am actually doing now. Crinkle Oven, you wake up with amnesia. Evidently you've been in a coma. You're in a hospital and Dr. Atlas is at your bedside. He murmurs something to a nurse and both of them stare at you for a moment. The nurse exits the room. Dr. Atlas waves a light in front of your face. Do you know who you are? But that was you in Sleep City. I mean, you've painted a tremendous scene, and I do like it. And it would need to be sort of similarly dramatic and atmospheric. It would need to have drama and comedy. You know what? I do have an idea for a cranial nerve exam. I have the idea as being a tired and overworked junior doctor at a national health service, and basically use it to raise awareness for the fact that junior doctors have a really tough time of it and are overworked and underpaid and overstressed, and you do not want to necessarily be in the care of someone who hasn't had sleep for 24 hours. And I would love to have that sort of messaging behind a cranial nerve exam. I have other ideas too. But that's one route I could take. It sounds more worthy than it is. It would be a fun concept. I say fun, maybe it is just worthy. Amy, I'd be so down for an Amadeus roleplay. Do it, you bastard. That sounds brilliant. Look at me. On my last roleplay, on my last stream, I said that I wasn't keen to play any characters that are familiar or recognisable. And here I am, blithely suggesting that I play fucking Mozart. We have the same birthday as me and Mozart. Fun fact. We stand cinematic political commentary. I do too, but I'm conscious that not everyone necessarily wants to listen to a political commentary or political satire as they're going to bed or as they're trying to unwind from what is a politicized world. Bloody hell, you're so high maintenance. I am. I'm so sorry. Examine me, says Tati. Okay, I'll think harder about it. I'll think harder about it. Tammy, thank you so much for coming. Ronan, you're acting as top-notch, Holly. I'd have all the confidence in the world if I had your voice. Mine is my least favourite quality because I have issues speaking from my diaphragm now. I'm very sorry to hear. Yeah, no one likes listening to their own voice. It's only after 7 months of having a channel which is entirely focused on my own voice that it's become vaguely palatable, but that's only because I'm doing a voice that I don't usually use, which is my soft-spoken voice. Usually, I'm nigh on screaming. Russian Smith. Do I have any tips on the writing about a Spanish invasion to Europe? I feel ill-equipped to advise on writing. I'm so sorry, because this is all very early stages of me writing things, so don't at all consider me this sort of stalwart of writing fiction, because I'm very much not. I'm learning as I go. But as ever, do feel free to leave me comments and I will always respond. You get numb to it, Crinkle Lovin'. Yeah. My speaking voice sounds like a drowning cat. I've heard your speaking voice on the phone, and it does not. You have a lovely speaking voice. Intoxicating. Dinko, you from Australia, mate? No, New Zealand. Internet dude, how old are you, man? I'm like 4 months away from turning 30. Which I'm excited about, to be honest. Guys, to my wonderful 69 viewers, what a number. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Take off while the getting's good. Leave on a high, because I'm a tired young man. But it's been so wonderful to hang out with you all. Thank you so much for coming. I'll once again plug the fact that I have a Patreon. Oh, I have a Patreon. I started it maybe 5 days ago. And if you wanted to join Olympus,